Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And welcome to Happening Multicultural Community Activations. Today in our Artist Holistic Wellness, we have our wonderful guest speaker, Tanzina Amin, who will share with us some of her knowledge and wisdom. But before we start, I would like to recognize the territory where we live and work. And while we go into this conversation and this process of recognizing the space that we occupy, I will invite you to also go deeper and explore, recognize the land where you live, where you work, and also recognize the people that have lived on those lands, that have taken care of that land since times immemorials. In my case, I am located in the indigenous traditional territory of the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit. I also honor all the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people that have lived in this land since time immemorial. While we go through this process of change, renovation, and revolution, I also would like to honor Mother Earth for all the resources that we use, that we take. And I would like to call all of us to engage in processes of land and water protection. Once again, I welcome you all to this evening's conversation. As for us, it's extremely important that we normalize conversations that are related to wellness and mental health. And not only for artists, but also for our entire communities. We know that in order for a community to be well, all its individuals need to be well. Happening Multicultural is the response of many creative and talented dreamers, creators, makers, and doers that are part of different diasporas and that have come to Canada with experiences of migration, forced displacement, and for some of us who have sought refuge in this country and now we call it home. I also recognize that as society we're experiencing very difficult times, and in many of our cases we have experienced loss. For the Happening Multicultural community, we are also mourning, as very recently we have lost one of our own, a wonderful and talented immigrant, a writer who had come from Eritrea and had called this land his home as well. And today, more than ever, these conversations are very relevant. So I want to welcome Tanzina Amin, who's not only a visual artist, an educator, a curator, but also a Reiki master and someone who brings with her the knowledge of her experiences and also her experience of relocation, of migration. We're extremely grateful with you, Tanzina, for sharing your wisdom and your talents with the Happening Multicultural family. And we're looking forward to this evening's conversation. Thank you very much. And I hope you all enjoy this time together.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much for having me here today. And thank you, Kel, for being here. I so appreciate it. And I'm really sorry to hear about the recent loss that you mentioned, Paula. My sincere condolences to the Muse Arts family, as well as the bereaved family. It is definitely difficult times right now. And now more than ever, we all really need to focus on our mental health and an overall holistic wellness. Like, what a time appropriate theme. So I'm going to start sharing a screen, and I have a little presentation prepared for you. So before I just move on to my presentation, I just want to introduce myself and thank you and welcome to everyone that is watching us live. So happy that you're all here. I know some are even joining in from overseas, so I'm really excited. So I'm Tanzina. My background is in architecture. I graduated as an architect in Bangladesh. And that's how I started my career as an architect and interior designer. And then when I moved to Canada, just like a lot of immigrants, I had a career change. And I eventually moved into imports, global sourcing, and quality assurance. Over 20 years, I spent in the corporate world, high stress, high demand, always rush, rush, rush. And then a couple of years ago, things changed. I experienced a series of traumatic deaths in my immediate family, which eventually led me to seek intensive grief therapy. And this experience completely changed my priorities in life. I've been devoting my time to holistic wellness and healing. I've been volunteering with a hospice, and through my grief and healing journey, I realized that healing starts with self-compassion and wellness. So taking care of yourself is so, so important. And now I try to help others heal using my knowledge, training, and my personal experience in creative and holistic approaches. So I'm going to start with sharing my screen. Bear with me. Okay. So this is just a quick snapshot of who I am. I'm also a visual artist, art teacher, and curator. I used to have an art gallery that is now closed. On the wellness front, I am an energy worker and a Reiki practitioner. I do meditation, crystal healing, distance healing, and Reiki, which is in person as well as distance, especially now during COVID. I did a certification on creative expressions for healing. So I am also a creative expressions healing coach, and like I said, a hospice volunteer in wellness, arts, and hospitality. So this year's happening theme is holistic wellness. And I'm going to just present a specific exercise to do with mindfulness. And before we go there, why do we even need holistic wellness? So I think that this image kind of gives you a quick snapshot. I think most of us will relate to this. Like, we're all balancing our health, our work, our career, friends, family, and how do we manage all of that with limited time? Like it seems like 24 hours is not enough in a day, and 7 days is not enough in a week. So we definitely do need a holistic wellness approach. So what is holistic wellness? It's balanced body, mind, and soul. It's a balanced approach to life. Rather than focusing on illness or specific parts of the body, this ancient approach to health, it considers the whole person, not just our physical body. When we think about health, we just think about our physical health, but we need to think about our mind, our spirit. All of that is connected. They're all connected, and they need to be balanced, and they affect one another. So whoever is here online right now, I would like you to take a moment and just rate your wellness level right now on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being barely surviving, overly stressed, like just really, really struggling to manage your time, to 5 being thriving and being at peace. So where would you place yourself at this point in time right now, like at this moment? Please take a moment to think about it and place it in the comments. I want to see these comments come in. This is going to be interactive. So where do you see yourself? Where do you see your overall wellness level at this point in time right now? Just know that this changes. Whatever you're feeling now can change in an hour, it can change tomorrow. So place in the comments, keep the comments coming. Okay, so now I want you to just think about one thing you did today just for yourself, like only because it brings you joy, not because it's your job, not because it's a chore that you had to do, or people expect you to do certain things, or you're doing something nice for someone else, which is like all of these. I'm not putting any of these down. Like all of these, of course, we need to do all of them, but let's think about what you did today just for yourself, just for the sake of doing it because it brings you joy. And again, I would really appreciate if you could place it in the comments. Let's see what everyone is saying. And be kind to yourself. It's okay if you can't find something like that. There are days that that happens to me too, like especially the past however many years, decades. Like I don't think I could find one day that I could say that I did something just for the sake of bringing me joy. There was always something else attached to it. But now I try to make it a habit or try to make it a priority of self-care. Let's remember, self-care is not being selfish. It is essential for your well-being. And there's a saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. So fill your own cup first before you go and help others. So today's exercise is going to be about mindfulness. And so what is mindfulness? Your body is always in the present, but where is your mind? Is it always in the here and now, or are you focusing too much on what already happened, or you're worrying about what's going to happen? Like we, without even knowing, without being conscious about it, our mind is always so cluttered with all of the things that happened to us in the past, everything that's happening now, and what's going to happen to us in the future. So again, I'm not saying you cannot think about this. Just forget the past, forget the future, only live for the present. No, that's not what it is. It's making time to be in the present. So don't always be in the past or future, always have that busy mind, that monkey mind that we call it. Like try to find time to just be present, and that's being mindful. Like when you're eating, just sit and focus entirely on your food, like really be mindful of what you're eating, the smell, the flavor, the texture, the feeling, like really be into it. When you're listening to music, like just be mindful, try not to think about anything else and just being present in the moment. So that's what it is of being mindful, and that really helps calm your mind. So today's exercise is going to be a mindful walk on a labyrinth. I don't know how many of you are familiar with a labyrinth. So this is kind of what a labyrinth looks like. This is just one labyrinth. There are so many different forms. So what is a labyrinth? Until a couple of years ago, I used to think labyrinth was just another word for a maze. And um, like when I was going through my grief therapy and my healing journey, one of the different modalities or different wellness tools that I was introduced to was a labyrinth, walking a labyrinth. And that really, really resonated with me. So, what's the difference between a maze and a labyrinth? I think uh, this quote really sums it up really well. The point of a maze is to find its center. The point of a labyrinth is to find your center. So a maze is like a puzzle. You need to really work on your brain. There are all these different ways of entering the maze. So which way do you enter? And there are all these different paths, and you have to figure out which way to go and to find your way to the center. And you come across roadblocks and you keep going back and forth. But with a labyrinth, it's there's just one way in and there's just one path. You just enter to the entrance and you just keep on following the path, going around, and it'll eventually take you right to the center. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to use your brain. There's no puzzle to solve here. It's a journey. It's a journey for you to experience. And this is a really powerful mindfulness exercise to walk a labyrinth. So labyrinths can be different shapes and sizes. There's no perfect one design for a labyrinth per se. This is a picture of a real life labyrinth, people walking the labyrinth. As you can see, there usually are no walls, unlike mazes, because there's just one path. You're just following the path. And this one is downtown Toronto at Trinity Square. These are some labyrinths around the world, and labyrinths have been around for centuries. So they can be with natural materials, they can be set up in nature, and they can be just on a paved surface, man-made, and they're all man-made, but there are all these different forms how they can be made. They can also be indoors. And then there are also portable labyrinth like this one. And this is something that that I experienced from my first experience with a labyrinth. That was a 30-foot diameter labyrinth on a canvas, which was set up indoors because of weather. And I walked this labyrinth at the hospice, at the Dorothy Lay Hospice. And it was an incredible experience. And then there are also finger labyrinths. So this is something that we will be doing today. And I just want you to just take a moment to take a look at all these exciting forms of finger labyrinths. So once you learn how to draw your own labyrinth, I want you to really experiment and look at all these ideas. Like you can use these rainbow colors. Like you can even use colors of the chakras if you're into chakras and energy healing. And when you enter, you start with the root chakra, which is the color red, and go on to all the different colors of the chakra until you come to the center. Or you can just use any colors that you like, whatever brings you peace. And you can use words like this one, the second right from the bottom, all these little words in there that bring you inner peace. You can make them out of clay, you can make them out of paper clips, you can put glue on a paper plate, let it dry, and paint on it. So this is these are just some examples of labyrinths that I've done. So I like to do a lot of different sketches and different labyrinths and just play around with them. So this is one sketch, just to give you an idea that it doesn't have to be very formal or anything. It can be organic, just play with it. So that's the one on the left. The one on the right, it started off as a labyrinth, but it ended up being more of an expressive arts piece. So when you look at this, like I don't know if you can see the pointer here. So if you enter from the top left, that's how I did this one. So you go through the labyrinth and you go through the society's eyes, you go through all these different forks on the road and the different colors and textures that mean all these distractions and obstructions. Sometimes you're going downhill, sometimes you're going uphill, sometimes you just kind of veer off your path and you go back and forth. So you go through all these different stages throughout life. So for me, this was just kind of my interpretation of life until the center for me was that yellow center there, which is more on the right, not spot at the center, but that was kind of the sun or inner peace. So again, these are just ideas. I want you to play around with the labyrinth once you learn how to do that. Okay. And once you do, please share your labyrinth activity on social media and tag us. Tag MuseArtsTO and Tanzina.Amin on Instagram, and find us on Facebook, MuseArts, Tanzina Amin, and my page, Tanzina Studio. Hashtag happening 2021. And also this new hashtag, which will be specifically for this labyrinth activity, My Wellness Labyrinth. Hashtag My Wellness Labyrinth. Please make sure you tag us. And if you are interested in finding an outdoor labyrinth, here are a couple of websites at the bottom: labyrinthnetwork.ca for Canada and labyrinthsociety.org worldwide. Even when you're traveling, when traveling is safe, I really invite you to look up a labyrinth wherever you're going and see if you can go and experience it. And the one that's in Canada, labyrinthnetwork.ca, it has an Ontario labyrinth directory, which is so detailed. These are just a couple of snapshots to show how detailed these are. So it's just, you go to the city, like I click Toronto, and these are all the labyrinths, outdoor labyrinths in Toronto. You click on one and you get pictures and description of each of them. So please try them out. And now it's time to draw a labyrinth. So I am going to stop the screen share. And let's see. So I'm going to turn on my other screen here. So Paula, if we can now pin the work area and spotlight it so that we can get the work area to show. Okay, can everyone see? I hope you can all see. I will, because I know on the right side, we might have the screen blocked on the right. So I invite you to grab a piece of paper, just a sheet of paper, and a pen or a pencil. And we're going to do a labyrinth exercise. So I'll let you go and grab one if you haven't already. In the meantime, also start thinking about an intention. You want to kind of set an intention of what you're going to be thinking about when you're walking the labyrinth today. So everyone ready? You have your sheet of paper. Paula, I hope we have the work area pinned and spotlighted. So we will start with, like, draw a plus sign or a cross right in the middle of your paper. Try to keep like at least 1.5 on each side. That might be a little too squished on the right. So try to keep like about 1.5 of this width on each side. Okay, ready? Now we're going to do 4 dots. So kind of, if this were a square, that's where the corners of the square would be. And don't worry about too much about being perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now we do 4 angles, kind of like L's. Starting to look like a pattern. So everyone good up to here? So now see where I'm starting. I'm starting at the top of that first plus that we did and just joining it with the line right beside it. And let's put some sort of a mark there. It could be a circle. Maybe I'm putting a little heart. So anything to mark that that's the center. That's going to be our destination. Okay. So now we start with this top right dot and we go up and around and join it with that line there. Okay, we're good. Okay, now we start with this dot here and we go around and we just join it with that L there. Okay. Now we're starting at the right side of that plus, going up and around and joining there. How does it look so far? Starting to look like what you see on screen? If you don't have enough space here, try squishing the line, like making the spaces a little narrower as you go around. Because I might need to do that too. So now we start here. And we go around there. Okay. Everyone following so far? Were we pinned all this time or we're okay? Because I'm just seeing the pinned post now. So I just want to make sure that we're good. Okay. So now we start with this dot. Go around. And finish up that line there. And now starting to run out of dots and lines, isn't it? Okay. 2 last lines left that are open, but we're not going to close them like that. We're going to go the long way. So we start here. Go all the way around and finish off here. And that's it. So that's the labyrinth. And this is going to be the entrance to the labyrinth. Okay, so we are going to be walking the labyrinth, and we're not walking it right now. I'm just showing you that once we start, we're going to go through this with our finger, and we're going to just trace the path all along until we get to the center. So once you start using the labyrinth, you're going to be thinking about an intention. And as you walk through the labyrinth, you think about that intention. It could be an intention for yourself, for a loved one, maybe an intention for the world. And it could be a prayer. It could be a question. Maybe you want to ask a question to your inner self, your higher self. And whatever it is, you just kind of clear your mind and just think about that question or that prayer or that intention as you walk the labyrinth very slowly. Once you get to the center, you stay there, you reflect on that prayer, that thought, and then once you come back, you walk right back, you think about what thoughts came up. So we will go through that activity. We haven't started it yet. Before we get there, I want you to start calming your mind. So first of all, think about your intention, what the intention would be. It can be a prayer, it can be an intention such as peace, happiness, um, security, safety, strength, anything that you want to kind of focus on for this moment. Like it's not something elaborate, just one thing that you want to focus on for this labyrinth exercise for today. So keep that in the back of your mind. And we're going to start with a little breathing exercise, which is called box breathing. So draw a square approximately like 3 fingers wide. And we're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold our breath for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and then again hold our breath for the count of 4. And we're going to do this 4 times. And after that, we're going to do another little exercise. Just draw an infinity here. Just keep it there, about kind of the size of your thumb, maybe. There's no perfect size or shape, okay? So let's start with the inhale. First of all, I invite you to kind of sit in a comfortable position, whatever is comfortable for you, okay? And we're going to start breathing slowly and use your non-dominant hand. So I'm right-handed, I'm going to use my left hand. If you're left-handed, you use the right hand, right? So I will keep counting and you inhale, hold, exhale, and hold, and you trace your finger very slowly around your square, okay? Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a deep breath and continue to breathe slowly. I now invite you to place your finger on the infinity sign, and on one side, this will be your inhale, and this will be your exhale. As you inhale deeply and very slowly, move your finger and exhale. Wrong direction. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale. I will let you continue at your own pace. No rush. Just keep breathing in and breathing out very slowly, and let your finger get accustomed to this slow pace. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to slow down our breathing, and we're trying to get our finger to get used to moving in this slow pace. We're always so busy all day. So let's assign these next few minutes just for our mindfulness, just to be present. We're not going to think about anything else. We'll just be present with our thoughts. Okay? Whenever you're comfortable, you can slowly move your finger to the entrance of the labyrinth. Take a deep breath as you enter, and now you think about your intention. Keep your finger moving slowly, just like it was before. Keep breathing in slowly and deeply, and breathing out. Think about that one intention for yourself or your loved one or the world, or that question that you have in mind. Keep breathing in slowly and deeply as you move through your labyrinth. There are times it seems like we're going far away from our destiny, and that's okay because we know this path will lead us to our goal. So let's just keep going. If you have thoughts showing up, if you have the urge to kind of stop, not go forward, don't worry. Be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and keep moving, keep going. Just try to bring your thoughts back to the present moment. Sometimes our thoughts wander. We think about our past, our future, our plans, our memories, and that's okay. Just bring the thoughts back into the present of this path, this journey that we're on this labyrinth that we just created. Keep breathing deeply and slowly. There's absolutely no rush. This time is just for yourself, just for your inner peace. Whenever you reach the center, just take a moment to reflect. Just stay there. You may close your eyes if you want at this point, and just reflect on your prayer, your intention, or your question. Allow any thoughts to come through at this point. Just notice whatever thoughts are showing up with absolutely no judgment. Just notice, observe, and allow. Sometimes this might release some emotions, and that's perfectly fine. If you have some thoughts or memories or images showing up, perhaps ask yourself, why? Why are these thoughts showing up now? Whenever you're ready, you can start your journey back. As you slowly walk back, think about all the thoughts that came through when you were at the center. Think about how that felt. Perhaps no thought came through, and that's fine too. Just notice, and allow. There's absolutely no judgment. Any thoughts can show up, and any emotions can surface when we're being mindful, and that's perfectly okay. Keep breathing slowly and deeply. Just be present. Allow any thoughts to come through. Take a last long, deep breath. Maybe give out a sigh and think about how it feels. And you can use this labyrinth over and over for different intentions at different times. See how that feels. So I'm going to now, that video can now be turned off. So yes, I'm really eager to know how it felt for everyone. And I would also like to ask you at this point in time, just take a moment to go inside and rate yourself once again, just like we did before. Just rate your inner, like your inner well-being on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being really struggling to survive, and 5 being thriving. So where do you see yourself, your wellness level at this point? And again, please, you can place it in the comments. And did we unpin the work area now, Paula? We can remove that from the pin or spotlight. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, any comments, I'm eager to hear. Place them in the comment section there, and I can't see, I'm not on Facebook right now, so I can't see the comments that are going on Facebook. I hope you're putting in your comments, please do. And please make sure that you are using the labyrinth and creating different forms of labyrinth, like adding your own creativity, your own creative touches to it, some words, some colors, different materials, textured, and please share, use those hashtags and share with us. And you can use this same labyrinth over and over for different intentions. And I really want to know how it goes. Whenever you feel very stressed and you need a moment to kind of calm down, just try this. Keep this handy, maybe by your desk, on the coffee table, wherever, and just go through the labyrinth. Or even just do the box breathing. You don't even have to draw a box. Just sit there and imagine that there's a box, like count to 4, inhale, 4, hold, 4, exhale, 4, hold, and doing that, keep doing that until you feel calm. So try these.
Tanzina, I just wanted to share, because I'm actually connected to the Muse live stream right now, and folks absolutely love it. I want to share with you that folks have shared that they feel more centered, that they feel more relaxed, they also sharing that the breathing exercises with the methodology of having that guide was extremely useful. Of course, some folks are also sharing that it was a little bit harder for them to concentrate.
Absolutely.
Folks, also something else that I'm noticing, which is amazing, and I have to admit, it also happened to myself because I was doing the exercise as well.
Yes.
Numbers went up in comparison with what's at the beginning, and how folks are feeling right now, including myself. So numbers definitely went up, as well as it seems that the breathing box resonated very much with everyone, which is also amazing. And it is also, of course, a testament, Tanzina, of your work or your dedication and the integration that you have done with, your holistic practice in arts, which I think is extremely important and crucial in this process of finding ways to connect with our inner selves. So I am really grateful for your wisdom and for everything that you have shared with us today.
I just want to say something for those that found it difficult. Please be kind to yourself and know that that is so normal for most people. Like most people, when they do this the first time, they just rush through it. They want to rush through it, or their mind keeps wandering off, and that's absolutely fine. The more you do it, the more you'll find that, yes, it does work. So try it again and again, and you'll see that every time it is going to improve, and it will eventually bring you to that place where by the time you are at the center of the labyrinth, you are at that point of inner peace that you can just close your eyes, and sometimes you do get answers coming through. Like I have had that happen to me more than once, and it's a very powerful tool. Please try it, and don't be discouraged just because the first time it felt difficult. It absolutely is difficult, especially when you're so stressed. And be kind and gentle to yourself.
Once again, Tanzina, thank you very much for bringing your knowledge and your talents into the Happening Multicultural. We are extremely grateful for your presence here. Of course, we are absolutely grateful for the presence of the many folks who tune in and are still following this very important conversation and activity. I feel way more relaxed, and I am very grateful for that experience. I want to remind everyone that is connected right now and through our Facebook Live that this event is also going to be, is being recorded to be presented to our YouTube channel. But I wanted to share with you that Tanzina will be with us on May 25th as well, with another important and amazing activity that connects us with our inner selves and that explores wellness, holistic wellness, as we want to bring these conversations and these experiences to the day-to-day, as we recognize that holistic wellness is necessary for us to be able to recognize that as individuals, we pursue well-being, and if we're okay, our communities are going to be okay. Also, a gentle reminder that we will have our artists in conversations on Friday as well. And you need to check our website at www.musearts.ca to check for our full agenda. It is a month of activities, which, as many of you already know, are centering in the talents knowledge and experiences that immigrant, refugee, and newcomer artists bring into our communities. So we are very grateful for your presence. We hope you have a great rest of the evening and that your week is also full of good energy. We're looking forward to continue creating with you all, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Paula, and thank you, Kel.